Ba-da-ba-bum, ba-da-ba-bum. I got him, you got him, we got him. Comic issues, yeah!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Mystery Review, the show where the comics are chosen by you. So here we have a list, and in this list we have letters and numbers. The letter corresponds to a box in my collection, and the number corresponds to how many comics are in that box. The number in the parentheses are numbers that have already been selected and reviewed. So if you want to have your comic put on the list, on the wheel to spin for the list, all you got to do is select a letter and a number less than the number to the right of the letter. Put it in the comments down below. We'll put it on the wheel, do a spin, and the winner gets their comic picked, and we'll do a review on it. I know you want to do it, so go ahead and do it. Hey guys, what's up? John here. Sorry if you hear some rumbling in the background. It's not my stomach. My neighbors, they have about 3/4 of an acre, and they decided to buy 2 4-wheelers. So they just been going around and around and around their house in circles. So they're kids anyways. So yeah, I'm sure they're having tons of fun. But yeah, making those kid memories. Yeah, my friend came over. We got my shed together. I'll be posting a video sometime in the future with my workshop. I got set up. I'm starting to do some blacksmithing. So we'll see how that goes. I'm thinking about doing like a little series, learning with me as I learn myself. Anyways, we have a bunch of numbers on the wheel this week. We have 5, so that's pretty cool. We have some new entries. And before we get started, I want to say thanks to my friend Mike for coming over and helping me with the shed setup. And he even brought me a gift. Check this out. Boom. Look at that. It's a sign made out of like oak or something. The thing's super thick, super big. And that's all, he done it all, carved it all out and did it with epoxy, colored epoxy. So that's all stained color epoxy. Yeah, it's too big to go on my wall. I think it would take up just way too much room. Well, yeah, a lot of room there. But I'm gonna stick it in my shed. So I think it's gonna be awesome there. So we'll put it right here for right now. Yeah, look at that. Let's see if I can get it to stay. There we go. Yeah. All right. Let's get this wheel spinning, guys. We're going to spin it, and 3, 2, 1, spin it. Spin it like you will. Yeah. S. Oh, no. E6. Almost S27, but E6 gets it. Man, that was close. All right, let's get the comic out and see what it is, guys. Be right back. Here's the comic. Let's see what it is. 3, 2, 1, and boom! The cape. Ah, sweet. I love the cape. This is cape number 2. This is a Joe Hill joint. And if you don't know Joe Hill, he's the writer of Lock and Key, Stephen King's son. Just a bunch of cool stuff that Joe Hill's done. And yeah, the cape number 2. So, yeah. We'll get it read. I've already read this, but it'd be a nice refresher. So, we'll be right back with you. Man, oh man, I forget how good that comic was. I think it was originally a short story by Joe Hill, so sorry about that. But Joe Hill has done Lock and Key, Basketball Heads, Wraith, tons of other comics which he actually wrote. But this was just an idea that was taken from his short story and made into I think it was a short story. It may have been a long story. But it was made into a comic by Jason Ciaramella. And he's done about 50 comics. Godzilla, TMNT, Kodiak, a bunch of stuff for IDW, really. And the art was done by Zach Howard. Judge Dredd, Hellboy, Wild Blue Yonder. The art in this is pretty good. It has like that dotting in the shadows, like from Into the Spider-Verse. Some of that art that's in that. And if a little bit of backstory about that stuff, it's called Ben Day Dots. And this was developed in the 50s through the 70s by comic books as a cheap way to do shadows using cyan, magenta, yellow, and black to do the shading, because the paper was so cheap they really couldn't shade that darkly, so they just did the dots in there. So yeah, Ben Day dots. Anyways, this story starts, and we see this guy rushes into the kitchen, and I guess you don't see that, but you see the aftermath of it. He's got a letter in his hand. He's like, I got in. And here's his mom and this girl, and you see him, and his name is Nikki, and her name is Angela. His mom, I don't know the mom's name. And we have Nikki, which is our main character, sitting at the table eating cereal. So this guy rushes in. He's like, I got into Harvard. I'm going to be a doctor. I've got in, Harvard class of 1999. So yeah, pretty cool. Everybody's excited for him. Besides, the guy at the table's name is Eric. His brother's name is Nikki. So this is their family there, and Angela is just like a girlfriend of Eric. So he almost spits his food out because they're calling Nikki a superhero because he got into Harvard. So you can see here there's a little bit of sibling rivalry going on. We pan over, and it's a little bit later. We're in Eric's bedroom with Angela on top of him, and they're making out, and she's just saying, man, it's so cool that Nikki got into Harvard. And Eric's pretty much, yeah, everybody's very happy for Nick. He always does everything great. And she's like, well, yeah, do I smell a little jealousy? So she's like, let me get rid of that. And she starts kissing him and stuff, and he's like, no. He gets up, and she's, mad about it. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you being this way? And he's like, he feels like he never does anything right, and Nikki's the good child and stuff like that. So we pan back, and that was a flashback. So now we see we're present day here. We have the rain coming down, and Eric's just flying over top of Angela's grave. So immediately we know something's happened to Angela. We don't know when, we don't know why, or who. So I think that's, part of the story here. So the next thing we see is Nikki and Eric's mom at her house, and she's talking on the phone, and it happens to be she's talking to Nikki. Nikki's a doctor now. He lives in the city, and he's saying, I don't want to, say anything out of line here, but I have a confession to make. I've been talking to Angie for, weeks now, and it's not like that. We've just been talking, but she did let me know that things have been rough with Eric, and she just needed someone to listen to about it. And his mom's like, what? And then Eric goes, Nikki goes on to say, I've been wondering too about these two cops that showed up dead that were investigating what happened to Angie. And so somebody's, that leads you to believe Eric's what's he doing now? So we're in this issue 2 here, so we don't know what's happened in issue 1. There was a synopsis at the top, and basically, I'm not going to tell you what happened in issue 1, so you can check it out yourself. But the gist of this story is Eric finds out he can fly, and now he could either be a superhero or he could be a bad dude. He chooses to be a bad dude because nobody else can fly, so he's going to take advantage of it and do whatever he wants. So it starts going to his head, right? So Nikki tells his mom, you got to get here in the morning. I don't think it's safe for you. So no ifs, ands, or buts. You're getting here in the morning. So they're saying I love you, and they're leaving. And as soon as she says I love you, a flagpole flies through a window and almost impales her. She's not waiting till the morning. She jumps in the car and heads down the road. It's pitch black outside, and she sees something in her side view mirror. And it's a very little speck at first, and it starts growing and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's Eric coming after her, flying. So he's getting closer and closer, and she's just watching the mirrors, and she looks up, and she doesn't notice there's a thing of crows eating a carcass in the middle of the road, and she swerves and ends up hitting a couple of them anyways, and slams into a tree. An airbag pops out, and she's all dazed and starts looking into her side view mirror. And you see here, this is a pretty cool set of panels. It's just a zoom in so you could see that he's just gaining on her. She gets out of the car. She's like, leave me alone. Why are you doing this? And he just disappears. And she gets her luggage out of the car and starts walking into the city. And I think this is my panel pick. Even though there's some cool panels in this thing, I think this is my panel pick just because you can just barely see his feet up there in the top left, where he's just watching her, and she has no idea while she's walking. She has no idea the danger that she's in, and he could just take her out at any moment. She finally, we see that Eric is flying towards the city. So he gets to the city, he lands, and there's a bum that sees him, and he's just like, shh, be quiet. And he goes into a hardware store, picks up some scissors, some cloth, and some lighter fluid. So here you see what he's doing. He cuts out a mask like Robin wears and douses it in lighter fluid. I guess charcoal fluid. Yeah, I guess that's called lighter fluid too. Anyways, gets it sopping wet. Like, what is he doing with that? You'll see. You'll see what he's doing with that. So he goes, and he's at this apartment building now, and he starts to fly up and to the top floor. And you see these people here like, holy dude, it's Criss Angel, because they think it's a magician's act. So the next thing you see is inside of the apartment complex, or the building, or whatever they call it. And Nikki is coming in, and he's talking to the security guard at the front desk, and they're talking about baseball and stuff like that. And then he's like, okay, we're just hopefully they'll have some X-raying magic for us. And the security guard says, yeah, when you were just outside, did you happen to see that magician? Or Nikki's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, there's some magician out there. He said he's just flying. So it clicks with Nikki. He's like, Mom! And he knows it's Eric. So he rushes upstairs, only to find Eric with a gun to his mom's head. And he's, it's his mom. He's got a gun to her head. It's crazy. And he's like, Eric, or Nikki's, what are you doing? Well, you're out of your mind. I'm the special one now. I'm gonna shoot this lady, and if you don't put this on, so Eric's or Nikki's, okay, I'll put it on. So he slings the banner, the headband at him. So Nikki puts it on, and then we see here that Eric's smoking a cig, and it's almost at the end of the cig, and he says, hey Nikki, all that learning done, you did to be a doctor. You ever meet anybody who's good with burns? And Nikki's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So he flips the cigarette at his face, catches his eyes on fire. Pretty much, I don't know if it blinds him or not, we don't know, but here he is just burning. And like, how crazy is that? Just got flames all over his face. And this I was thinking about making this my panel pick because it's so intense. You see the mom is crying, and she's got to think about what her son has just done to her other son, and her other son is burning right before her eyes, but she can't get to him because one of her other sons, Eric, is holding her hostage by the hair, and it's just such a powerful image there. It's crazy. And she reaches for a lamp and just smashes it on the side of Eric's head, and he goes down and he's out like a light, and it says, Jesus, Eric, can't you just do anything right? So he goes to a flashback now, and the mom runs over and helps Nikki, and they get out of there. And you see some lady here on a bed. Pretty much it's his internal dialogue telling him, you can't even take out an Ivy Leaguer and an old lady. How did you mess that up? I thought this was what you was born for. and you see him. He's a little kid. I'm sorry. So he's still in his shell, with this mental, stuff going on. So she tells him it's time to wake up and do something, but it's really his internal dialogue. So he wakes up, he flies over, goes back to his mom's house, because that's where they went, and we see here the cop outside that's watching the house. He's like, I appreciate the heads up, you just got a call on the radio, but I don't think, with all the heat here, I don't think he's going to be coming back here. Boom! Cinder block to the face from the sky. Just drops it on him. That's just, man. So you see Eric walking to the shed, and this is what he's picking up here. You can tell that's a chainsaw. It's a chainsaw, and that's where he says that this will work fine. And then the comic ends with this last full page panel of him just gearing the chainsaw up, getting ready to go. So we don't know what's going to happen next, but we can kind of think about it. So this was a perfect pick. With May being Mental Illness Awareness Month, I've had my mental things, and I still go through stuff now and then. I'm a little, I'm getting better, but I think you'd be surprised at how many problems people have. So if somebody's having a be as mean to you or something like that, and you just don't know what people are going through, right? This guy is, the total, he's already hit the breaking point. He's seen a way out, and he's going to take it out on, the stuff that's been bothering him all of his life that he never talked about and got through. He's so powerful now that it's just, he can do whatever he wants. So it's, this is to the extreme, but this kind of thing happens. So if you need help, get help. Thanks for joining me, and I appreciate everybody watching and subscribing, and good things to come, guys. Be good yourselves, and like, comment, and subscribe.